anyone have challenges that they've been able to overcome?
that they want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak.
Go ahead,
Go, go,
Mel.
go.
Yeah, so mine is fear. Not fear of like say how they say zombie or those type of foolish things that I don't really care about. They have no name. But my fear was overcoming death. Like, when I say death, I don't mean I'm gonna die. Don't get me wrong. But I used to have a fear of dead people. Although I know one day I would have to go, right? Or I will have to go. But whenever I go to a funeral, I get home, it's like the funeral clothes itself. I could not see it beside me. I had to hide it somewhere. Honestly, this is the honest truth because all I could see was that dead person. I used to look under the bed, even as an adult. I used to look under the bed thinking they're gonna pull my feet. It was very creepy for me. And then my bravery came from after going through treatment for breast cancer, right? That was 12 years ago, thank God. And I was in the hospital. I didn't stay in the hospital, but I used to go for treatment. And in the waiting room, I mean, we had to go blood test and all of these things. We had to have first to go to the attendant and all those things. I find myself, actually, the first time that I had to go for my treatment, I had to end up seeing a social worker. That's how much fear I had, because I'd never been a sick person. And when they told me that I would have to start treatment, I was at work, healthy as a horse. But because I had surgery on one of my left side, which I discovered myself a small grape-sized lump, then they had to use me as a guinea pig. And I believe that in the hearts of my heart. Anyhow, 4 months later, they called me from my doctor telling me I would have to start treatment. And that's where the fear kicked in more and more. So I went to see, we were in a group setting where we had to listen to the oncologist. And I'm getting upset because I'm saying, but I'm not sick. Why are they telling me to go for treatment? I had surgery, yes. I found out the lump myself. Why am I getting treatment? That's after 4 months, past the surgery date. So I went to see a social worker in the hospital that was relating to that before we took the treatment. And I went to her and she told me, what are you here for, Melanie? I said, I don't know, because I'm upset already. I said, I don't know. So she looked at me up, down, and in my mind I'm saying, what she's sizing me up for? Then she said, sit down. And then she goes, take a deep breath. And I'm going to say something to you, Melanie. In all the people that came to see me, I'm not bragging, that's exactly her words. You should not even be coming here because you're a brave person. I don't see you have fear in you. I said, but how do you know that? I don't know what I'm expecting to get in my veins. I hear about treatment and I don't know what it is. And I hear people are dying by the treatment. So she put me to seat and I'm smiling and I'm tearing up at the same time. And the day one, I'm sitting in the whole room of people awaiting their treatment, my first treatment day, and one lady is talking about, yeah, and they put these big needles in your vein. And I had my friend, my good friend who passed just 2 days ago. In my mind, I'm saying, yes, lady, that's all I need to hear. So it was time for me to be called in. I went in and the nurse said, are you ready? I said to her, I don't know what to expect, but if it's causing my death, I'm here. Okay, so she said, no, I don't see that in you. You seem brave. I said, because I'm a believer, I know I can survive this, but I'm hearing more negative things than. And I told her what the lady just said. She said, oh yes, don't worry about these people some of them that come here, because they will put fear in you before you even start something, or they will put death in you before you even survive. So I said, okay, I'll go by what you said. My first day of treatment, I went home, and it was those from Canada probably know who John Layton is. He was one of those prominent men in society. He was in the government, very nice man, and we young man still, and we saw him shedding the pongs on TV right in front of our eyes, and he was diagnosed with cancer, and he passed away. So that was my first day of treatment when he passed. It was a weekend. Ay, so I said to my husband, I don't care what life brings me, but just shave my head, because that's what they told me. I don't care what I'm going to look like. Shave me, please. Just shave my head. So I have this bald head now, and I'm going to sleep. First day of treatment, I have to laugh now because I'm just thinking back. And then I'm lying on the bed that same night. Saturday night, I cannot fall into the morning of Sunday, which was about, well, Sunday morning, 2:25. And that's 12 years ago, but I remember vividly. So I'm looking up to the ceiling and I'm thinking of what I'm going to tell my daughter, what I'm going to tell my son, where they're going to see the key for this, for that, insurance, whatever it is. So I'm there planning in my head. All of a sudden, guys, believe it or not, I made a nurse cry just mentioning that story to her. We normally leave our room door ajar, because from my mom, we always know to never close your room door, like, close feet, just keep it ajar. And in the space of the door, we leave the light on so you can see a little bit of light. All of a sudden, that space filled with the darkness. And we know darkness is like dark, you know what I mean? Like therefore, whatever. So I said, there goes. The space of the door is filled with dark. Guys, all of a sudden, the breath of something came onto my left cheek when that darkness came. I felt the wind blow, like that little breath on my left cheek. With no lie, with no doubt. I'm telling you guys just as it happened. And when it blew, like my eyes closed for a minute and then it opened up and I'm knocking my husband. Really, just like how you'd elbow Rob. I was elbowing my husband to wake up, but he's fast asleep. And when men sleep, sometimes they sleep. If the house can be carried over them and they're asleep, okay? So he opened his eyes, he said, and then he went back to sleep. So when I finally, when that breath came off my cheeks, I opened up my eyes and I had the biggest and widest smile looking up to the ceiling. So it turned out it wasn't darkness as in death, as people say, but it was darkness with something good that came into my life. And from day 2 onwards, my treatment was A-OK, one after the other, and I was in a room every time I go for treatment full with people, young, very young, older, and oldest. And I find myself being so brave from that day on that I used to give them inspiration. I used to tell them about, guys, you have to believe. I don't care who they were. I didn't know the people. And a lot of them agreed with me and said, you're strong. I said, no, I am not strong. This is the one up there who's keeping me strong. And I told them my story when I started. And from then on, they said, I just love your spirit. I said, I only got my strength after the social worker told me, I am not a coward. It's just maybe what people told me that made me fearful. I said, no, but before that, I used to be afraid of death. And this is what my story is today. And from since that day on, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not. So this is the fear that I overcame. I meant to share that story. I did a write-up in a ministry course we took in church. And again, the pastor was tearing up when he heard it. So it's something that I don't want people to cry about, but it's something that I want to share to people, because sometimes our own enemy is ourselves because of fear, because of doubt and everything. So whenever we put those things behind us, the bravery comes. So I meant to share that.
Very nice. Very nice.
So fear is what I overcame. Thank you.